It was tryout day. Every kid in Millstone Park wore the same nervous look. Jittery knees, fidgeting fingers, oversized cleats stomping on wet grass. Soccer was more than a sport here. It was a ticket, a hope, a future. And Lucas Navarro had been dreaming of this day for years. He showed up early, shin guards strapped tight, jersey tucked, soccer ball under his arm. His mom had packed a cooler of orange slices like she always did, and kissed his forehead even though he was 12 now and totally not into that anymore. But when he walked onto the field, he heard the whispers. Is he here to play? Thought this was the competitive team. What's he gonna do? Roll the ball with his belly? Lucas had heard it all before. Because Lucas was chubby, not just a little husky, not big-boned. He was the kid who had to shop in the plus-size aisle even when he was 8. The kid who always got picked last at recess. The kid who ran like he had bricks tied to his ankles, or so the bullies said. But what they didn't know? Lucas could play. He had footwork, vision, strategy. He could see the game like a chessboard, 10 moves ahead. And more than that, he loved it. Coach Darnell blew the whistle and started drills. Lucas gave it everything. Faster sprints, sharper passes, cleaner cuts. But no matter how many times he made the right play, he noticed the coach's eyes never followed him. They were always locked on the lean kids, the tall ones, the ones who looked like they belonged in Adidas ads. At the end of the 2-hour tryout, the list was taped to the fence. Lucas stood in front of it for a full minute. His name wasn't there. He didn't cry. Not until he got home. His mom tried to hug him, but he pulled away. They never even looked at me, he said, voice shaking. They saw my body and decided I didn't matter. She tried to reassure him, but he wasn't listening. He went to bed early that night. But the next morning, he woke up, put on his cleats, and went back to the park, alone. Because maybe the team didn't want him. But the game still did. Lucas kept coming back. Every afternoon after school, rain or shine, he was there. Dribbling, shooting, running drills he found on YouTube, replaying pro games in his head and trying to mimic every move. Other kids passed by, laughed, pointed. Some even filmed him for TikTok. Called him Chonk Messi or Big Maradona. Lucas ignored them. He wasn't playing for them. He was playing for something bigger. One afternoon, about a week after the tryout, Lucas was midway through a cone drill when he noticed someone watching. A man, maybe in his 40s, dressed simple but clean, baseball cap, clipboard in hand. Lucas froze, wiped sweat off his forehead. The man didn't say anything, just nodded, and came back the next day, and the next. Always quiet, always taking notes. On the 4th day, Lucas couldn't take it anymore. He jogged over, nervous, heart pounding. Can I help you, sir? The man smiled. You already are. Lucas blinked. What? My name's Julian Moreau, he said, thick French accent rolling off every syllable. I coach football, real football, in Europe. Lucas stared. Like, Europe? Julian nodded. France, small club, but real. I work with players who are overlooked. He pointed at Lucas's feet. You have control, creativity, brain. Most boys your age run fast, but play empty. Lucas looked down. They said I was too slow. Julian smiled wider. You're not slow. You're deliberate. Lucas had no idea what that meant, but it sounded like a compliment. The next week, Julian brought cones, goals, 2 weighted balls, and they trained every day. Passing drills, reflex tests, game IQ challenges. Julian didn't treat him like a charity case, didn't say good for your size. He pushed him harder than anyone had, and Lucas rose to it, because for the first time someone saw past his body and into his game. One evening, while stretching, Lucas finally asked, "Why me?" Julian sat down on the bench beside him. "Because I was you once. Skinny, yes, but not flashy, not fast, never picked. And one coach took a chance on me, changed my life." He looked at Lucas. "Now it's my turn." Lucas's throat tightened. He didn't know what to say. Julian stood. "Tryouts are for people who follow doors. You're building your own." 2 weeks later, the Millstone Spring Invitational Tournament began. It was the biggest youth soccer event in the region. Teams from all over the state came to compete. Scouts, coaches, even college reps sometimes watched from the bleachers. Lucas wasn't on a team, but he showed up anyway. Julian handed him a red duffel bag, cleats, shin guards, and a spare jersey. Lucas blinked. "But I'm not registered." Julian smiled. "You're not playing in the tournament. You're playing in the scrimmage match between games. Coaches' kids, backups, bored little brothers." Lucas's heart sank. "So, just for fun?" Julian leaned in. "Son, every field is an audition. Doesn't matter if it's the World Cup or a muddy patch behind a church. Play like someone's watching, because someone always is." Lucas took the field wearing jersey number 39. No one cheered. Half the kids didn't even know his name. But once the ball rolled, everything changed. In the first 5 minutes, he made a no-look pass that split 2 defenders and set up a goal. A coach on the sideline stood up. By the second half, Lucas had scored twice. Not with power, but with timing, precision, calm. He didn't celebrate. He didn't taunt. He just played. On the far side of the bleachers, a man in a blue jacket leaned toward Julian. "Who's the chubby kid with the feet?" Julian didn't blink. "Future midfielder, maybe League 2. The man laughed. "You're serious?" Julian handed him a folder. 3 weeks of notes and a highlight reel. The man opened it. His smile faded. Then came the words that would change everything. "We're holding youth trials in Lyon next month. Bring him." After the match, Lucas jogged toward the bench. Julian met him with a handshake and a quiet grin. "Good news," he said. "You've got a flight to France." Lucas froze. "What?" "Tryout camp. 1 week. Full ride. No promises. But real eyes. Real shot." Lucas couldn't speak. His mom cried when she found out. Coach Darnell heard about it 2 days later. He called Julian. "Why didn't you tell me?" Julian was quiet. You had your chance. Lucas left for Lyon on a rainy morning with a backpack, a passport, and 1,000 nerves. He didn't look like the other kids, but he didn't care, because now he didn't need permission. He had proof. Lyon was colder than Lucas expected. The other kids at the academy were taller, leaner, sharper. Most came from elite youth clubs. They wore designer cleats and spoke with confidence that bordered on arrogance. Lucas? He wore the same boots he trained in back home, and still, he didn't flinch. For 6 days straight, they trained from dawn till dusk. Technical drills, tactical simulations, scrimmages under pressure. Some kids cracked, some coasted. Lucas. He listened, learned, worked harder than anyone, and when it came time for the final match, the one where scouts sat with clipboards and quiet eyes, Lucas didn't try to be flashy. He just did what he always did. Played with heart. Midway through the match, he intercepted a pass, threaded it between 3 defenders, and set up the winning goal with a soft, perfect touch. The crowd gasped, not because it was wild, but because it was smart. Beautiful. Right. After the match, Julian pulled him aside. They want you, he said. 2 clubs, not just as a guest, as a player. Lucas stared at him. Me. Julian smiled. You're not just a good player, Lucas. You're a reminder that talent has no shape, no size, only soul. Back home, the Millstone team started their season. Coach Darnell taped a new quote in the locker room. The best players aren't always the fastest. They're the ones you didn't believe in until it was too late. They called him too big to run, too slow to compete, too heavy to dream. But he didn't stop. Because Lucas knew something they didn't, that the body doesn't define the heart, and the shape doesn't define the spirit. So the next time the world tells you what you can't do, play anyway, because someone somewhere is watching, and when they do, make them believe.